Okay, people. Been quite a day. It's 10, what is it, 10:02. I'm stuck in a little bit of traffic on Aramingo Avenue. Somebody's watching. Hello, somebody, whoever's watching. Can't see who it is. Deborah Gilbert. Oh boy, could I use some pastoral care right now. My dear friend, I'm just going to use her real name because she needs prayer that much. Melissa, she lived part of her life in Aston.
In a quarter mile, use the right lane to take the I-95 South ramp to Chester.
She went to Northley Middle School, and so she's a local gal. Whenever I find a local guy or girl, I make it a point to keep in touch with them. And I saw her leaning against a wall in Emerald City today, looking half gone. And I said, Melissa...
Use the right lane to take the I-95 South ramp, then merge onto I-95 South.
I said, you're a bit easier to find these days. And she said, they just Narcaned me. Can I sit in your car? So we came within a hair of losing Melissa. She's from Aston, lived part of her time in Springfield also. I'm not sure which one was more, but she's a local gal. She's been interviewed a year and a half ago or so on ABC News, on Action News.
Continue on I-95 South for 3/4 of a mile.
I can show you that link. Pray for her.
There's an 8-minute slowdown on US 30 West and 2 miles. You are still on the best route.
Thank you. So, do pray for her. Melissa, months ago, I visited her in jail, and she promised me that she would never go back to heroin. She's held that promise to me for months, buying...
In a quarter mile, use the right 2 lanes to take exit 22 toward US 30 West, Central Philly.
At, I believe, $10 per pill, 1 pill a day, maybe 2. Suboxone on the street. And a week, maybe 10 days ago, she could not find any, so she was starting to get sick and just went back to heroin. And
use the right 2 lanes to take exit 22, then keep left.
And then instantly hooked. So, she was sleeping it off in my car, which is a little bit unusual. Usually they're wired, but Melissa never gets enough sleep, and so whenever she sits...
Keep left.
Whenever she sits in my car, she falls asleep right away. I've known her for, I don't know, a couple of years now.
Continue for 2 miles.
So you know it's a stressful day when I reach for my chocolate milk. Oh, Sarah! I'm on my way in. It's been a stressful day. So, let me get around the bend here. Pray for her. She wanted to just sleep in my car, and if my schedule allows, and I know the person well enough, I just let them sleep, man or woman. And it's usually...
In 2 miles, use the left 2 lanes to take the I-76 West, US 30 West exit toward Valley Forge.
And it's usually the ladies who prefer to do that. The guys are usually too macho to say they'd like to sleep in my car. But Melissa, but I just couldn't because I have to go to work. And she understood that. So I took her around to Prevention Point. But here's a couple God moments in this. I found her at Emerald City. She sat in my car. 3 or 4 police came by, 2 of which know her pretty well. And the one police officer told me that the police officer, had actually Narcaned Melissa earlier in this week. Which scares me, because she's now to that point where she's just getting Narcaned every few days. So, my goodness. So I'm jumping around here a little bit in this conversation, but when I said goodbye to her, I reminded her that I did Dana's funeral not too long ago, and I don't want to have to do a funeral for her. And did that sink in, you know, who knows. But I gave her a hug at the end, and I might not ever see her alive again. But I'm jumping around here a little bit. Once we... What's going on here? I'm on Vine Street, and things are all backed up. Imagine that. Actually, I'm on the... Whatever, I'm on 76, going across the city. So, Melissa's lying in my car. The police, I'm having a good conversation with the police. They're concerned about her. At least 2 of the 4 who were there. And then it was, my time there was coming to a natural close. There was nobody else to give stuff to, bananas and water. So I made my way around to the last stop at Kensington and Somerset, and that is a real hotbed of drug activity. So Melissa's in my car, and a few folks from Prevention Point and other outreach workers all wander by, and I all point out Melissa. I said, what can we do for her? And everybody has a different suggestion. Take her here, take her there, take her that blocks away, or this place, or that place. There's no system for people who are reliant on Medicaid. This is all part of Medicaid Mountain that I'm talking about. We've got to plow down this Medicaid mountain. The fact that there's a person sitting in this seat who not long, within a couple hours of sitting in this seat, was all but dead. And professionals are coming along, all with perfectly reasonable solutions from their perspective. Our place provides services, take her to this. Our place provides services, take her to this. I must have had 5 different solutions. At least 5. From professionals on the street, all wearing their name badges saying, I represent such and such a group. This is why people are dying. You go, if you're on Medicaid and on the street with substance use, you're in deep doo-doo. And one of the people who I know summed it up very nicely, just stating that the outreach workers, a lot of them are just, we're just addicts, was the phrase. And you could tell she was saying it very brokenhearted. So Melissa's in the car. I'm parked in front of the last stop. Google that and then do a street view and you can see the exact area where I was parked. Same police are starting to wander by. We seem to have the same pattern when we do this. So Melissa's in the car, and darn if this was a cool moment. This was a God moment when all at the same time I hear, "Hey, Banana Man!" And I look up, and it's Rick Alvarez, who attends...
In 600 feet, use the left 2 lanes to take the I-76 West, US 30 West exit toward Valley Forge.
He attends Urban Hope. He's been involved in food ministries and a lot of different ministries, but mostly outreach to the homeless. He was up on the L platform, calling down, "Hey, Banana Man!" I was like, whoa, and I could barely see who it was at first. And then as he...
Use the left 2 lanes to take the I-76 West exit.
As he and his wife are walking down the steps, who's coming down the sidewalk but the medical director of Prevention Point, a man that I've seen on TV and you have seen on TV multiple times. We've never met. So this was actually my first meeting of him.
Continue on I-76 West for 4 miles.
And I told him about Melissa, and he says, well, please bring her over to Prevention Point, get her in, and we'll let her rest, and then talk to her about treatment. So that was cool. But all that was happening at one time, and all the folks, or most of the folks from Angels in Motion, all there at one time. It was like a tiny bit of mental overload, but it was good. Okay, doing some traffic merging here. So that was pretty cool. In the meantime, various outreach workers are continuing to check on Melissa, making sure that she's not actually losing consciousness versus just sleeping in my car. And she wasn't, she was just exhausted. Okay, this truck really needs to get over here, please. There you go. So that was pretty amazing. So I'm continuing to hand out water, bananas, and I saw that I was running low on time, so I said, okay, I've got to get Melissa to Prevention Point and help get her in. So I called Rosalind, who you've seen on TV multiple times, and has recently been written up for compassion fatigue. Is that the right word? I'm not sure. Philly.com had a wonderful story about her. So I look up Rosalind Sicardo, I think her name is. There we go. Now we're on open road again. So I called her and explained the situation, that Melissa, who she knows, is sitting in my car. And so she called into Prevention Point, and the Prevention Point people came out and helped me convince Melissa that she needed to get out of the car. As much as I was willing to let her sleep, time-wise, I just couldn't do it. And but at that point, I did tell Melissa, I said, you know that I've already had a funeral for Dana, and she knew Dana, and that it was scaring me that I might end up going to a funeral for her, Melissa. That hurt. So do pray for her. She, to the best of my knowledge, she has no parents left. Both have died. Melissa herself is 33, I think. So she's a tiny bit older than the average folks there. Which you may find surprising, that 33 is older than most of the people. So that was pretty overwhelming. I took her to Prevention Point, and we got her out of the car. She got out on her own. She was good. And it seemed like maybe she was going to go in. Because I asked her, I said, do you want to die? And she says, no. Now that's the thing. Right now, I'm heading toward I-70. No, I'm on I-76, heading toward Recovery Centers of America, where for the next 8 hours or so, I will be driving people who have made a call to 1-800-RECOVERY because they've decided that they are tired of their substance use issue.
There is a 7-minute slowdown in 3 miles. You are still on the fastest route.
Of course there is. And after they have their insurance cleared, they either get themselves in by their own transportation, or we go out and get them. And when I say that, it could be literally right down the street from RCA, or it could be I've driven to Connecticut. And that person from Connecticut was actually coming from 3 hours further north. So that gives you some...
In half a mile, use the left 2 lanes to turn slightly left to stay on I-76 West.
So I want you to understand, Delaware County folks, and, well, for that matter, suburban people.
There's a speed trap ahead. Use the left 2 lanes to turn slightly left to stay on I-76 West.
I've had a funeral. I did the funeral for Dana.
Continue on I-76 West for 13 miles.
She and her family are from the Glen Olden, Delaware County area. I've since learned that she and her aunt would somewhat regularly during Dana's childhood would go over to Booth's Corners Farmers Market, and Dana had her favorite booth owners that she would visit with her delightful personality. I can just picture her beaming and playing with stuff in each person's booth. I can just picture it as a little kid. But somewhere along the line, addiction, substance use grabbed her. And she desperately wanted help, and I have letters to prove it. And the path of substance use, the path of life, is so thin. A person can fall off it at any minute, even walking on flat ground on that path. And then we look at these people, man, we look at these people and tell them, wow, you want the path to health? You have to climb a mountain first. The mountain involves a whole bunch of humiliation. Staggering. And that's just to get to the path of health. It's not even the path itself. It's just to get to the path, the level of humiliation and heartache and hard work they have to do just to get to the path of healing. We can do better than this society. We can do better. I'm in that 7-minute slowdown. It's where all these lanes merge, City Line Avenue and all this stuff. We can do better than this. There are wonderful moments. Having now done this, am I pushing 3 years at this point? Where are we now? May, June. I guess it's coming up on 3 years. Wow. For the people who have been there, either that whole time or big hunks of that time, I've got great relationships. Not necessarily deep relationships, but they know that I care. The men are starting to open up to me more than they did. The ladies know that I'm not trying to date them, and they seem to appreciate that. And by date, you know what I mean. And so I do what I can to befriend and fist bump and hug and whatever each person seems to want. So that's very cool. This is actually therapy for me, talking this out as I head to work, because this was emotional to realize that Melissa, who I've really come to know and love, as I do a lot of them have let me into their life, and she is one. It hurts. It hurts a lot to think of these people. We can lose so easily on that path, that thin path of life that they are on. And I know a certain number of them, some of whom are still on the street but have access to, they have a smartphone, and it doesn't necessarily work as a phone per se, but they can still hook up to Wi-Fi and check Facebook and watch these videos. And so I want you to know that you are loved. Even if you don't love yourself, God loves you more than you can possibly know. That's why I give you song sheets. Donna's watching. I've just been telling them about Melissa. I'm using her real name. That's how much she needs prayer. I did get her over to Prevention Point, and I called Roz, and Roz called in there, and 2 or 3 people from Prevention Point came out, and I'm not totally sure it's going to happen, but Melissa seemed willing to go in and rest for a while and then talk about options. So thank you for your help today. Yes, Donna. I think right now I think I'm right. I see 2 people watching. One is Deborah, the pastor in, what town are you in? And then Donna is an outreach worker on the street. So that's a good combination. You can say hi to each other. Oh, I love this pollen. So that was a little degree of hope for Melissa. That there did seem to be some interest in going in and getting some help. So I don't know, maybe that's all there is today. Do you have any questions? Yes, you in the front row. Yeah, okay, humor helps. Chocolate milk helps too. Being stuck in a traffic jam on 76, not so much help. So, 2 of you are on Facebook. Go to Plow Down Medicaid Mountain. I have it set up as a page that anybody can like and be a part of, and then I have the same title, Plow Down Medicaid Mountain, as a closed group that you can find and request membership, and of course I would approve it. I wasn't quite sure what direction to go with this thing. The closed group, I guess there can be more honest discussion because it's closed. But maybe the other would appeal to people also. But this Medicaid mountain, people are falling off of it. And I can freely, sadly say it, that Dana fell off Medicaid mountain, and I have a document from a person in authority that says so. Not in those words, but terrible. Thank God for her deep, loving Christian commitment. Wow. Amazing Christian lady. So ultimately we know where she is spiritually, but the heartache of realizing that Dana's no longer with us and her children no longer have mom. All because her mom was pushed off a cliff on Medicaid Mountain. Plow Down Medicaid Mountain. Oh boy. So yes, this is good venting that I do. So by the time I get to RCA to bring full insurance people in for the same treatment that Medicaid people should be able to get, but can't because their insurance card says Medicaid. It's amazing. It was explained to me that Medicaid patients, a facility is reimbursed about $168 per day to treat a Medicaid patient for substance use rehab. And that doesn't begin to cover expenses. And so yes, from a business perspective, how can you do that? If you want to provide actual quality care. And yet at the same time, the 4 policemen who I mentioned to you, I was there for a couple hours, and so I saw those 4 policemen working the same general area the whole time I was there. So if I was there 2 hours, 4 policemen, 4 hours. It's a whole bunch of hours. Let's just put it that way. That we're paying policemen to be policing people with a medical condition. Let's just treat the medical condition. That would make a lot more sense. I keep having this ridiculous vision of police running around the hallways of an actual hospital saying, "Don't occupy that bedroom. Get out of here. Get out of that hospital bed right now." You wouldn't do that. All these people, they're lying there because they need a hospital bed or a rehab bed. They're not lying there because they want to. They're not lying there because they enjoy lying in that box on Kensington Avenue across the street from Martin's Deli up against the fence. This is 1 unit of Narcan. My last 2 visits, I've been given one of these. It's usually a box of 2 of these. But on my last 2 visits, I was given one by a person on the street when they overheard me say that my Narcan was actually a block away in my car because I had to park so far away because of special events that were going on. And so, oh wait, you're a different Donna. I just realized that. So what I just said to you didn't make any sense. I'm sorry. The other Donna was there. I just realized there's 2 different Donnas in my world. Sorry about that. That's funny. Leave it to me. Anyway, I've been given 2 of these on the street recently. One by a person who lives on the street, and one by one of those 4 officers. Luke, hey, how are ya? I'm heading to work. It's been quite a day. One of my dear people, I saw her standing there looking a little disheveled, and I said, "You're a little easier to find these days." And her first response was that they just Narcan'd me. So I almost lost her today. But it does this overall. Every once in a while, there is a wonderful moment. I've told you about Cricket, a professional violinist, or semi-professional.
There's a slowdown ahead.
Yes, there is. That's why people are applying their brakes. Can't get anything past this phone, let me tell you. We were able to find a full-size violin, and I have it here. But I didn't find her today, and I should have known because she told me that she's in a intensive outpatient program during the day, which is fantastic for her. So yes, she is working on putting this behind her, and I believe still living on the street. What time is it? 2:18. So we're doing great. Uh-oh. My Reese's peanut butter cups are melting. Mm. So, it's been an emotional day, but a good day. It is heartbreaking, and I'm not sure who's watching me right now. It is heartbreaking. It's ripping me apart to think that there is a very real possibility. And this applies to all of them, but in my heart right now there's a very real possibility that I will never see Melissa again. Given the mental, emotional, physical state she's in. And it will not be, well, I've already said it. Too many people are being pushed off Medicaid Mountain, and so we have to plow down Medicaid Mountain. I think I'll just leave it at that. I've talked. I think I've shared everything there is to share for the moment. And I'm stuck in traffic. So I'm going to hang up for now and focus on driving down Route 30 on my way to work. Maybe get the car washed. So yeah, please do share Plow Down Medicaid Mountain, the group, the private group, closed group, and the page that anybody can look at. So thank you all. Thank you very much. I'll talk to you later.